I'd like to call the meeting to order for July 13th, 2021. Would you please rise for a moment of silence? Would you please join in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to
the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And Paula is not here tonight. She's ill, so we will go on to roll call. Trustee Sheets.
Here.
Trustee Hunter here. Trustee Good.
Here.
We have no minutes to approve. I'll make a motion to pay our expenditures. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Roll call. Trustee Sheets.
Yes.
Trustee Hunter, yes. Trustee Good.
Yes.
And we will move on to our departments. Our deputy is here the fourth Tuesday of the month. So we will move on to the road department. Robert?
There was a cemetery deed transfer that somebody had asked for, and our records do not go back far enough to prove ownership of this. So we drafted a letter for the people wanting this and stating that they have to attest that it is their heirs, and I'd like the board to just kind of approve that letter. That way I can get it on its way.
And you've double checked like all the sections and the lot numbers and everything.
I have not yet, so I will do that before it goes out.
Do you want us to approve it?
Just if there's any corrections or anything, that wording, anything like that. According to our records there.
I guess I asked that right before I read that.
I'll make a motion to approve the letter to go out for transfer of the cemetery deeds. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Roll call. Trustee Sheets.
Yes.
Trustee Good, yes. I'm like half ahead of myself. Trustee Hunter, yes. Trustee Good?
Yes.
That's what you get for trying to write and talk. Okay.
I received a set of plans for the Rolling Hills drainage update. Some of the details are the county engineers will put this out for bid in the fall of 2021. The earliest it could start is the spring of 2022. They will be starting at Hill Branch and work their way northwest back towards Rolling Hills. I'd say once they get the main tile ran, they will go into Rolling Hills and replace the tile, raising the elevation on it. And then when that's complete, they are going to go in and either remove or fill the existing tile that is underneath. And that was one of my concerns, that what they were going to do with that, because if they're going to leave it there, it could still collapse someday and still settle. But their plan is to take like flash fill and fill this pipe up, so it should be just solid pipe then. So as for now, it's just a waiting game until they get their bids, and I will keep the board informed if I hear anything new. The Thomas tile on Johnson Road that we've been working on is on hold for the time being. Just about like everything else right now, there's no 12-inch tile to be found. I have no pipe to finish that project. So I'm gonna have to put that on. I talked to them, told them what's going on, and with the price of lumber and everything right now, they're on hold themselves. So it's kind of just a waiting game right now. I had a meeting with the Franklin County engineers about the paving. It was a pre-construction meeting. When they get the final bid, they have so many projects going on right now that when they do get the final bid in, they'd like us to go ahead and pay 50% of our bid. Because that's a lot of money for them to front everybody. I was told today that they were having a final meeting with the one crew and they could possibly be paving next week or the week after. So if maybe we could put something on the Facebook page notifying the Garrett Road and Regal Road residents that maybe expect some delays, something like that. I will try to come up with a better time, like a certain date, and when it gets closer.
Delays or closed?
Just like, I'm not sure. When they did Seaman Road, they were able to keep the road open. But it's just, they might have to just wait a
Or
minute
just put for resurfacing?
for resurfacing and just be patient. I've been having trouble getting these, but I've got another estimate for the roof replacement on the road department. I was notified of some other people to check with, so this is just one to start with. I will get back to you guys when I contact this other person and try to get a better estimate, or another estimate at least. Other than that, we just had one burial. That's all I have.
How about, did you go down and look at G's property in Georgesville?
Mhm.
And what is your determination of that?
Oh, on that one. I'm gonna have, okay, well, we were there cutting that tree up today too. So,
Oh, that's right. I forgot about the tree
yeah,
too.
I'm gonna have Oops come out and mark the utilities. I know there's one tile, if not two tiles, running through our right of ways there. If I can locate them, I will give them a place to run downspout lines to, because right now their house and the neighbor's house are just dumping the water on top of the ground. There's no underground downspout lines going to the tile systems.
Mhm.
So when you do get a big rain, it's just dumping everything right on top of the ground. So they probably are going to get some flooding through the yard.
Did you talk to either one of them?
No, not yet. I just want to go ahead and get the utilities marked and then do a little poking around or digging around just to see if I'm correct on my tiles.
Okay. So then you think for them to correct their problem that they have now, they can take their downspouts and attach it to that tile when
Yeah,
you locate it?
Depending on what I find, I can, well, I can run, I'm hoping there's an 8-inch tile on the back of the property. And if I do find it there, if it doesn't continue, I can run it further down to both property lines and put in like a small catch basin or something where they could run. I mean, it's something either one or both neighbors are gonna have to do because it's off the right of way. We don't have an easement there.
So is the other house you're talking about Tim Rebel's?
Mhm. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it would be I can provide, if I can provide them an outlet, it's up to them to finish the job.
Okay.
So,
I believe the first time this year she told me about it,
mhm,
she said if somebody would just tell us what we need to do, they would do it.
yeah, but hopefully I can find a outlet for them.
Okay.
That would really help out a lot if they could put that water underground right away instead of just running across the surface.
All right. Anything else for Robert? Okay, chief?
Let's keep it from falling.
Thank you.
Good. For June, we had 88 runs. Just ran some quicks for half-year statistics since the end of June was halfway through the year. We're about on pace for where we've been the last couple of years. Right kind of in the middle. We had 584 this year, 595 in 2020, and 581 in 2019. So we're kind of right on pace for about similar run volume from where we've been unless things pick up. We did have Atlantic Emergency Solutions in to address an air leak and a light issue left over from the refurb on the Pierce engine. They've taken care of those two issues. I did have a conversation with Bailey today at the Chiefs Conference about the tanker. We're going to be scheduling a meeting with him to start getting that process. He asked Pierce to send him some information that they had from back when we had it inspected and everything. So he's going to take a look at all that and get back with me and we'll get that truck addressed as well. If I remember correctly, the recommendation was they were going to pull the tank and clean the frame and kind of repaint it and coat it with some, they weren't going to do a full, it doesn't need a full frame like the engine did. It just needs some work to help it not happen.
We still have the engine sitting back.
We do, yeah. It's on the list of things that need to be, kind of taken care of so we can get that ready for auction, but it's not a high priority item and, we're just trying to get it running and.
Me and Aaron's waiting
Yeah.
on dry ground day. to
Right.
put it out.
So we're gonna get it out there.
Coating on the engine that was refurbed, didn't we do that on the other ones?
Mhm.
Are you doing them on that?
Yeah, we will do the undercoating on all the trucks to protect all the parts that are not galvanized.
Okay,
So all the trucks are gonna get that undercoating probably later this fall.
okay,
But the tanker, if you remember, when we had the engine inspected, we also had the tanker looked at as well. It does have some frame rust and some starting of that rust jacking. So what they recommended at that point was to send it to at that time Finley, which is now Atlantic Emergency, have the tank removed from the truck so they could access the entire frame, clean it, and then repaint it, coat it, and protect it as best they could. They're not going to do the galvanized frame like we have on the other two trucks now, but we will have it will be back to let's say as factory condition as we can make it, and preserve it for as long as we possibly can. And then we'll keep continuing to coat the undercoatings of those vehicles or protect them as best they can.
Okay.
And unfortunately, that's about all we can do besides the power washing that we're doing and those types of things to keep that salt from destroying those frames. So, breathing air was in, did annual maintenance on the air compressor in the fill station. We had some minor issues with the rescue tools. Hal was in today and they fixed those issues and also did the annual maintenance on those. So we're about done with our annual maintenance for the year for our equipment. We had crews down in Scioto on the 9th for some live fire training. If you remember last meeting, I told you that was going to be on the 24th. That was postponed. They had some paperwork issues. So they did have that training fire on the 9th, and we did have 5 people down there participate in some of the newer part-timers were down there. So we were able to get some nice live fire training out of it. So I kind of spoke to you earlier about it, but the soil and water was in again and assisted us with the rain garden out front, trying to make that look a little bit better and less weeds, more flowers. So I'm happy with, to have their participation in it. It's nice they are willing to come out and help a bunch of firemen that don't understand anything about plants take care of rain gardens. So. And
Look at all you're learning.
yeah, I know. But Ryan is immersed into the rain garden now. I mean, he's kind of the point person on that thing, and he's just immersed into that whole rain garden thing.
His
So,
rain garden.
yeah, Yeah, I think we need to rename it the like Ryan Will
We need to get
Rain
a
Garden or see, maybe a plaque or something. Maybe we'll do something about that. And Ohio Fire Chiefs is this week, so I'm over there during the day. I'll be kind of bouncing in and out here and there, but that's where I'm at all week. So that's all I have for tonight. I don't have anything else unless you guys have something for me.
No.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.
We will go on to old business. Dawn Drives continues to be a problem. The RV that was parked there and then moved to the Darby Elementary parking lot is now gone from both places, disappeared, but the sheriff's department was called to the house on Dawn Drive at least twice this past weekend. And did you get your emails? I think you maybe forwarded it on to me about the OPEC hearing was postponed till October. And as the legal counsel put it, so it looks like there is no end in sight to this. That,
I think I might have said that.
well, he said it.
Oh, did he?
Oh,
too?
maybe you did. Maybe it was you then.
Yeah, I was gonna, I don't know. Do we want to just keep on? Or we just keep getting bills and I don't even know what we're fighting anymore.
Right. I think if we could,
We probably paid enough in legal to just pay the. I'm pretty sure at one point we said we wanted to settle and just never. I don't know. Something to think about.
yeah, or should we ask Pete just to end this for us? Get a figure, who would you talk to? Frank Harmon himself?
He's never asked us for anything, has he?
Not that I'm aware of.
I don't think he's asked us for a dime.
And is that who they're fighting?
But like I said, at this point, I don't even know what they're fighting.
Right, this is going on since 2017, I think.
Yeah. I wish I knew what the best answer was, but I hate this to just keep on racking up legal fees for something that doesn't appear to ever, ever gonna end.
And then we'll still have a bill after we pay the attorney's fee.
Right.
Mhm.
Do we just cut our losses and hope for the best? Or keep sticking it out?
I wish I knew the answer.
I know, I don't either.
Could we email Mark Stem back and ask him for a figure to completely be out of this now?
We could. I don't know that anybody wants any money. I mean,
The attorney sure do, because
right, but as far as, how come we've never got a bill from anybody other than the attorneys?
Aren't they saying that we owe, isn't that what they're fighting, that
This, yes,
40%?
yeah.
They
but
lowered
I
it
don't
to a
think they
certain
ever,
percentage.
I don't think they ever agreed to it. I don't know what. Or maybe he said they're hoping to get it down to 0, or I don't remember. Honestly, there's been so many back and forths, but,
would you want to contact Pete and see what it would take to get us out of this?
I could do that. I know that at one point he was kind of keeping tabs just because he had so many
Clients.
other places. I could do that tomorrow.
Then we can make a decision after we get some kind of a report from him,
Okay.
or at least advice from him.
And is it legal that since we're into this now, could we ourselves contact OPEC? Or Pete contact them for us and legally get us get this ended. Wrapped up and ended.
Yeah, I mean, it's been 5 years now.
Yeah.
I will email to you.
Thank you. And we also got notification, the order from the Ohio Board the Ohio Power Siting Board. Pleasant Prairie solar hearings are as follows. Public hearing July 19th at 6 o'clock. Hotel Darby Creek Metro Park Nature Center. 1415 Darby Creek Drive. There will be a sign-up sheet for testimony. First come, first serve. Testimony is limited to 5 minutes each. And then after that, there's an evidentiary hearing on August 16th at 10 a.m. Public Utilities Commission of Ohio Hearing Room, 11A on the 11th floor, 180 East Broad Street. In Columbus, parties must register at the lobby desk, and then go to the 11th floor to participate in the hearing. Is there any other old business?
Nope.
Okay, new business, Ed, the Asheville propane contract.
Yes, the price this year from Asheville Propane is at $1.65 a gallon to fill the tanks that we have right now. And that's called the summer fill price. And then to get it locked in at $1.85 per gallon for the year is gonna cost us $20 for the application. And we'll be locked in with them at $1.85, which I feel is a good price. And I have the form all filled out. Board's in agreement with going with Asheville. They gave us good service in the past. And it would be my recommendation we stay with them.
Do you want to make that a resolution?
Yes.
42?
I'll make resolution number 42 to continue our service with Asheville Propane at a locked-in price of $1.85 per gallon. 2021-22 heating season.
Okay. Roll call, trustee Sheets,
Yes.
trustee Hunter, yes, trustee Good.
Yes.
Any other new business? Any announcements? No.
With the ramp 71 northbound at the 94, the northbound ramp being closed for 30 days starting Monday. Seemed to be a bottleneck of traffic in that area, especially around 4 or 5 o'clock in the evening. Noticing quite a bottleneck down there
Where's that at?
at 62 and
Oh, okay.
71 northbound ramp is closed.
A lot of excess traffic on 665 between 62 and 71 as well. So.
Yes, yes.
Okay, for clerk updates, and some things listed to discuss with Paula. So get with her at a later date. Anybody else have anything?
I do,
Well, go right ahead.
unfortunately.
Go right ahead.
Last month I came and it made nicey nice, and I'm gonna come and ask you for stuff. Yeah, I had my first meeting as president and I had some stuff thrown at me to bring up to you guys. The first thing being, the street signs in our subdivision. It's been 10 years or so probably since they were repainted. And some of the residents say they're beginning to look a little ratty and wonder if we could have those repainted, replaced with the modern reflective signs, whatever the case may be.
That is actually the law now. They have to be upgraded to the high visible signs.
Okay.
So it's just getting all that done. So, I can look into it and see what it costs and take to do it,
Okay.
possible time frame. But I think, can't remember what the paperwork said from the federal government about it, but I'll look into that.
Okay. We had some people have actually gone out and repainted a couple of them. I guess
If
what
they
happened
want to,
last
that's
time.
fine by me.
What?
If they want to, that's fine by
Okay,
me.
would you supply the paint?
We'll do that.
We can do that.
Okay. Yeah, I think it would be nice if we got the modern reflective signs. I kind of like the style of those old wooden posts. It's kind of a bit of nostalgia, but if you're not familiar with the streets and you come through there, you don't know to look down. Fire hydrants, kind of the same deal there. So a couple of the people said some of the fire hydrants are looking a little ratty, and could we get those repainted? Is that within our realm?
No, that is county water.
County,
You
okay,
cannot touch the hydrants other than to flush them and,
okay,
That would be the sanitary engineers.
yeah.
yeah. Mhm. Yeah, we got,
Unfortunately, they don't want us touching the hydrants, so, right?
we,
I'd be happy to come out and paint them and I put pretty colors on them too, but they don't.
well, that's what the people kind of wanted. I think one of our reps would have repainted it because she didn't like the colors.
Well, you can't do that. Don't paint anything but the yellow or the orange or whatever color they are. But there's a color coding system through NFPA that tells us how many gallons of water a hydrant will flow. And I would paint the tops of those colors, but
Okay,
the sanitary engineer does not want us touching any of the hydrants. So as
Okay.
far as painting that goes, if we have a maintenance issue with them, we have to notify them.
okay,
So other than, going out and flushing them, in the spring and then in the fall, we come out and pump them and make sure they're dry for the winter months. So they perform for us when we need them. We don't do anything. If we find a problem during those times, we have to notify them.
yeah,
Unfortunately, that's there.
we have contacts with Steve Renner, and
There you go. Yeah, I just call them and
usually we get nothing.
I can't say how fast the performance will be, but unfortunately you have to notify them.
Yeah, and I'll ask you another question. As far as you know, are all the hydrants in the Timberlake subdivision
As
operable?
far as we know, yes.
Okay, how about that dry hydrant back on Timberlake Circle by the Twin Lakes?
We go back in there and flush that out. So
Okay,
yes.
so it is operational.
Yep.
Yeah, I heard reports from a fire we had back there a few years ago that the hydrants didn't work, the dry hydrant didn't work, the house burnt down, so.
Well,
I
that's
trust
been
you.
before my time, so I
I think
can't.
trustee Sheets knows a little bit
Yeah,
about that.
I can't address that one, but as far as I know, when we did our maintenance in the spring, we came out, flushed everything worked, and anything that did not work the sanitary engineer was excellent. So if they haven't been out doing any work in the neighborhood, then everything worked as it should have.
Okay, and, and the other request is we need more hydrants.
Again, here, second.
Yeah.
I'll take a hydrant in everybody's front yard if I could.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So hydrants are, I don't know how far apart they are down there, but generally speaking, in rural areas, they put them about 1,000 feet apart.
Yeah, I can't remember, I know years ago, one in front of Charlie Hummel's residence was in a state of repair or something and sat out there.
We're well equipped to, even if a hydrant doesn't work, we're well equipped to deal with that situation.
Okay.
We bring almost 5,000 gallons of water just in our 2 trucks.
Mhm.
And the balance of our first alarm assignment, what we would call it, is probably another 5,000 gallons of water. So we're bringing plenty of water. If the hydrants don't perform as expected, we shouldn't miss a beat.
Yeah.
So we're well versed. In fact, it's out of the norm for us to actually get to use a fire hydrant because we just don't have it. So, you know, most of the township is not hydranted. We're very well versed in
Okay.
water supply.
Sounds like a winner to me. And one last issue, and I think Robert could address this. I think you had a conversation with Steve Cox about drainage in his property.
On Teal Court.
Yeah, I believe that's his residence.
In the process of finding out whose easement that, if there is an easement there,
Mhm.
but I'm trying to find out whose responsibility that easement is.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't.
I was through there today after one of the heavier rains and there was no water laying there.
Hmm.
So, but we'll still investigate it.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, I didn't hear a complaint about that, but our Facebook group, he was on there complaining about it and had mentioned on there that he had been in contact with you and you were contacting the county to bring a sniffer out or something. So, okay, that's everything I have.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming.
Thank you for your input.
Appreciate it. If you find a problem with fire hydrant or something, just feel free to give us a call here at the station.
Okay,
You know, we'll come down and take a look at it, see if it is mechanical or something. We can inspect it and take a look at it. But we're not allowed to touch it.
yeah, I think the biggest complaint is they didn't like the colors of the fire hydrants and I don't know when they were last painted. Some of them may be a little,
You know, don't paint them, please don't paint them green or try to hide them or anything like that. Please, you know, make them as visible as they can be. We know where they're at, but if, you know, people put bushes in front of me, I've seen all kinds of stuff.
yeah.
You know, people will put bushes in front of them because they don't want them in their front yard and, you know, they don't realize, I understand they're 99.999% of the time they're an eyesore, but that 0.00001% that your house or your neighbor's house catches on fire, we need that hydrant.
Oh, yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
I know
it's important to be able to find it. So
if you're a student with your homeowner's insurance, they'll ask you how close is the nearest hydrant, and the closer that hydrant is, the lower your rates.
they usually call us and ask us some questions about the fire department and where the nearest hydrant will be to an address and things like that. So, yeah, absolutely. So, but yeah, we're happy to come out and take a look at them if you have any problems with them, other than cosmetic. I mean, if it's just cosmetic, you know, obviously we can't do much, but
Yeah.
if you think it's a, you know, disrepair is not working correctly, let us know.
Yeah, pretty much the deal with the.
Because if we call them, we might get a little faster, especially on something that's not a cosmetic issue,
Mhm.
it's more of a maintenance issue. We might get a little faster response out of them if we call them and say, hey, this fire hydrant's out of service, we really need it. Fix it a little quicker than maybe if you or your homeowner call them and say, hey, my hydrant's not pretty and it needs paint.
Yeah,
That probably won't get them a lot of attention. So,
too bad, so sad.
yeah. But if there's a maintenance issue with it, if it's in disrepair, absolutely give us a call.
Yeah, okay.
We'll be happy to come out and look at it.
That's something else also. For street lighting issues, let your residents know to contact the road department.
Mhm.
If they call it in, you can call AEP and get it repaired.
Okay.
Okay, anything else? And I would like to move to go in executive session according to Ohio Revised Code, section 121.22G1 for the purpose of discussing personnel issues. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Roll call, trustee Sheets.
Yes.
Trustee Hunter, yes. Trustee Good.
Yes.
You're on.
Under the Ohio Revised Code, section 121.22G, I move to come out of executive session. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Roll call, trustee Sheets.
Yes.
Trustee Hunter, yes. Trustee Good.
Yes.
I will make a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Roll call, trustee Sheets.
Yes.
Trustee Hunter, yes. Trustee Good.
Yes.
Meeting adjourned at 8:05.